What is up, guys? It's Imana, the founder of Radiant Souls, a safe space for like-minded individuals who prioritize wellness. You should know this by now. I'm just joking. But nonetheless, this video is going to be about forgiving your parents for what they did to you so you're able to move on. And forgiveness does not require reconnection. But yeah, let's get into it. So in order to move past the things that harmed you in your childhood, you have to come to terms with the fact that your parents were operating on whatever level they were operating on, right? So maybe they weren't as conscious as you are. Especially when you have kids at a really young age, a lot of the time they're living out their childhood trauma and projecting it onto you, and they're perpetuating that generational curse to you. So in order for you to elevate and level up in your life, this is like the root. This is your foundation. This is a part of your foundation. So to go to the next phase, it's like there's different steps you have to take. And the first step you have to take is trying to understand why they are the way they are. And once you understand why they are the way they are, like for example, my mom's dad was a drug addict most of her life. And as far as like emotionally, she was neglected in certain ways. So me knowing that, me knowing she was looking for love in all the wrong places, me knowing that she didn't come from a place of abundance, but from a place of scarcity when it comes to like, you know, showing up in certain ways or having people show up for her in certain ways, I understood it. But even though I understood it, I was still mad. I was still angry. It still didn't make me feel like, oh, I understand now, I forgive you. It doesn't really work like that, because I'm like, yeah, I understand. But if you knew how I felt for someone to treat you like that, why would you treat me like that? So like in her head, she's like, well, I never did drugs. I never did. She felt like she was a better parent just because she didn't do certain things her parents did, but she was still unavailable in certain ways that her parents were. So I had to see her as like the little girl inside of her that never took the time to like nurture her own wounds and just went straight into being a mom. Like she got married when she was 18. She had her first kid when she was 19. She had me when she was 21. Then she had my brother. She has like 5 kids. So it never stopped. And then on top of it, she chose unhealthy partners for her because of her trauma. So it's like she never really just took the time to heal. So once I really just saw her as a human, I kind of realized, like, you know what? I don't like what you did. I don't like some of the things you did. And I'm working on letting go of the resentment, because she over put her burdens on me. So like she would show up for me and then make me have to like, okay, take care of my kids, do this for me, do that for me. And it made me angry. I don't know. I got angry at a certain point in the journey of me healing. I got angry, and I had to really realize, like, at the end of the day, I still love my mother. She wasn't perfect, but I love her, and she has a special place in my heart. And as Muslims, we believe paradise lies at the feet of your mother. So whether she was perfect or not, just honor her and respect her. But you do not have to be best friends with her. You do not have to overspend time with her. So I'm not forcing that. Fortunately, me and my mother do get along, and we've been able to move past a lot of things that happen, because I see her. The more I grow up, I just see her as a human, as a person trying to figure out how to maneuver life. And she was trying to do that with kids, and then she got just caught up in her trauma and took her pain out on us. And I had to, I don't know, forgiveness healed a part of me, because God wouldn't give me for one, we belong to God. So I feel like God is our true, like, that's where we come from. So like maybe our parents were entrusted with us on this earth to care for us to a certain extent, and they'll be accountable with God for whatever, they did or whatever they didn't do. But in reality, like, do I want my mom to get punished for the things she did to me? No. I just want her to grow from it, heal from it, learn from it, and do better moving forward. And then as far as my dad, same. Like, I used to have a lot of resentment for him because I feel like he didn't show up for me. He wasn't there. Well, my dad's parents left him in a group home. His parents got separated. And how can I expect the person who went through all of these trials and tribulations and found a way, like, always worked, always took care of himself, always found a way, like, he found a way to make it. I can't expect a certain level of depth to come from a person like that. Of course, in a perfect world, if he wanted to, he would, but that's just not the reality of the situation. He's doing the best he feels like he can, and you can't jump into your parents' body and make them do what you want them to do. So at a certain point, for your peace of mind, like, accept where they're at. Accept them for who they are, and like meet them where they're at, versus trying to push them to be who you want them to be. Kind of ask them questions, get to know them. Like, so when you were this age, what happened? Like, so when you first went to the group home, were you sad? How did it feel to get separated? Like, talk to your parents about the things that they endured, and like, you'll get a deeper understanding for them. And then again, you don't have to be best friends with them. You don't have to, if you don't want to see them, but on holidays, that's fine. But you want them to have the peace of knowing that you forgive them. You forgive them, you know, for what they did to you. Because if you give your parents peace, God will give you peace. If you give your parents hell, at the end of the day, these people, you know, especially your mother, like, she risked her life. She could have died bringing you into this world. So for that simple fact, I just give grace and forgiveness. And for me, I had to take some space at first. So like, maybe we didn't talk. Me and my mom were super close, but it was like it wasn't like a mother-daughter relationship. It was like a sister. Like, you my sister, you ain't my mom. Because she had me so young. She had me when she was like 20. It's like we grew up together. But nonetheless, I took space from her for a while. Then when I went around her, I'll feel angry sometimes. And I wouldn't be mean to her, but I was indifferent. Like, I'm not unhappy to see you, but I'm not happy to see you. You know what I'm saying? I love you. I want you to be okay. But like, I'm not really feeling you right now. So I was angry for a while. And then I realized that the anger, I felt guilty for the anger, you know, that I felt. But then I had to give myself the space to feel it and release it. So like, now I have better boundaries in place to where I don't get, because if you ever go around your parents and you think they're different, they're still who they are. They might have changed a little bit, but they're still who they are. So to an extent, you have to accept who your parents are in totality. Like, you truly have to accept who they are and where they're at, because if you don't and you go around thinking that they've changed and they've become these different, no, they're still the same people. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you don't live with them and you're not in their care anymore, and you create and cultivate your own life. Now, if you have to live with your parents for a while, I would say, I would give the same advice. Like, don't be naive and think that they're just different and they've changed. No, they're the same people. They're going to do the same stuff. Their patterns of behavior will perpetuate while you're living with them. And you're going to have to, like, I truly feel like you can't heal where you were hurt at. But if you got to be there for now, try to save your money and create a safe space for yourself. Because when you create a safe space for yourself, now you got somewhere to go. Now you got your own space to go to where you can regroup, you can think, you can breathe, you can let loose, and you can come back around when you want to come back around. And you can communicate when you want to communicate with them. And you have a healthy space to release the anger in. So like, if you mad, you can be mad all you want in your own space. And 9 times out of 10, when you get out of their space, you're not going to be as upset. It's not going to be as intense because you're making the decisions for your life. You're living the life that you want to live. So that, I guess that's what helps me. Just forgive and move on. And also, you don't want to have a hard heart in this life. You don't want to be bitter. You don't want to be angry. Do you really want that? Like, you really don't want that for your life. You want to be at peace. You want to have gratitude for what they did give you, and just know that whatever they didn't give you, God will make up for. God will suffice. God will never forsake you. God will never leave you. And I think that I started to rely on Allah more than I relied on the love I needed from my parents. Like, as long as I have God, I will always be okay. Because like, when I die, I'm dying alone. I ain't dying with them anyway. You know what I mean? So you love them, you respect them, but you just don't, you're not a baby anymore. You don't need them to take care of you, feed you. You could do all that, feed you, clothe you, you know, prioritize your wellness. Now you're the adult in your life who needs to prioritize your own wellness. So at a certain point, you forgive them. You know, you go through your phases of forgiveness where you like acknowledge what they did. Sometimes they'll admit it, sometimes they won't. You resent them. But then once you like get over that phase, you'll start to see them as humans. You'll forgive them, and then you'll have healthy boundaries where like you're able to, you know, interact with them where you feel comfortable and you feel safe. So you have to start to know your limits and not cross them. And again, don't ever get to that point where you feel like, oh, they're different, they changed. No, they can change a little bit, but they still are who they are, and you're gonna have to accept them in totality for who they are. Now again, you ain't gotta be best friends with them, but you gotta accept them and respect them and honor them, because I'm telling you, you're never going to get too far in your life disrespecting your parents. I'm sorry. Like, that's just, as a Muslim, I truly believe that in my heart. Like, you got to have balance in your life. Nonetheless, God loves you, and God will restore the parts of you that they neglected, and the parts of the trauma and the trials and the tribulations that they put you through that you feel like you didn't deserve. Ask God to heal those parts of you. And sometimes there's purpose in your pain. So like maybe you went through that so that you can help other people or other kids who are going through that or having a hard time, and you could be a resource to them. And now you can provide help that you wish you had when you were a kid to other kids going through that. Like use the passion and channel the energy another way, because being mad at your parents at a certain point ain't gonna do nothing for your life. And you're just gonna be bitter, hard-hearted, and that's gonna block certain blessings in your life. So keep your heart soft, keep your heart open, and just be cautious of who you allow close to you, and have the proper boundaries for your parents and just for anybody in your life. Like see how they behave and put them at the appropriate place. You got this. And remember, Radiant Souls is a safe space for like-minded individuals who prioritize wellness. So you can do it. Like you have all the tools you need to be okay. But if you keep, oh, you did this to me, you did this, you're gonna be miserable and you're stuck in victim mode. Take your power back. Take your power back. Hold people accountable, but take your power back and do the necessary work to become the best version of you, so you can live a quality, authentic life, versus just, oh, it's his fault because I don't have this. They did this to me. People don't care. When you get to a certain age, people truly don't care. And I'm not saying you should care that people don't care. All I'm saying is nobody wants to hear a sob story. You got to get up and change your circumstances and change your reality. You got this.